Hello everyone, welcome to Chapter 6, Lesson 1. We're on page 379. It says estimate products of whole numbers and decimals. So example 1, it says Mrs. James bought about 15 8/10 gallons of gas each week for her car. About how many gallons of gas will she buy in 5 weeks? So step 1 is we're going to round. So we are going to round to whole numbers. And so a whole number, that whole numbers are numbers without decimals or without fractions. So when I want to round to whole numbers, I'm actually going to round to the ones place. So I'm going to take 15 8/10. I want you to write this down. And we have to find out which one is in the ones place. So the ones place is always to the left of the decimal. So I take my ones place and I look at my number next to it. 8 is 5 and above. So that means since 8 is 5 and above, my 5 here, my 15, my 5 in my one spot is going to go up to 6. So my nearest whole number is 16. The other way to find out, I'm going to write this over here, is if we have a number line, we have 15, you know what? We have to find out, is 15 8/10, is that closer, is that closer to 15 or is that closer to 16? So I know this is 15 and a half. So the 15 8/10 is going to be over here. That is closer to 16, so I know my 15 8/10 is going to round to 16. So next I just multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So I get about 80. So Mrs. James is going to get about 80 gallons of gas in 5 weeks. I can check using repeated addition. So it's going to be 80 or 15 8/10. I'm just going to use a calculator. Times 5 equals 79. So 79 is close to the estimate 80, so the answer is reasonable. We're going to do example 2. This is a worker loads 16 packages onto a truck. Each package weighs about 58 5/10 pounds. About how many pounds are loaded onto the truck? So estimate the product of 58 5/10 and 16. So example 1, we're going to use compatible numbers. And one thing I noticed different between example 1 and example 2, this number right here is only 1 digit, and our second number here is 2 digits. So we're using compatible numbers. So up there the 5 stayed the same because it's just 1 digit. Here we're gonna go ahead and estimate, or both, we're gonna estimate both numbers. So 58 and a half. So 58 and a half, since we are using compatible numbers, we want to use numbers that are easy to work with. So I have to think about numbers that are easy to work with. I look at 60 and I look at 50. So which one is 58 5/10 closer to? Well, I know 58 is closer to 60 than it is to 50. So this time I'm going to look at my 5 and then my 8. My 8 is 5 and above, so I'm going to round this to 60. Now 60 times 16, that's not easy to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change 16, same thing. Is 16 closer to 20 or is it closer to 10? Well, if I look at my 6 is 5 and above, so that means my 1's going to raise up to 20. So 60 times 20, that's the same well, that's similar to 6 times 2, which I know 6 times 2 is 12. But then I know I have a couple zeros I can add right there. So 1,200. So 60 times 20 equals 1,200. And that's when we use compatible numbers. Let's take a look at the homework. So the homework really doesn't state when to use compatible numbers, but like I said, is when some of these have more than one digit, that's when I would use compatible numbers. So here, these are more than one digit. So those are some good strategies when to use compatible numbers. Maybe even this, because that 9 is close to 10. But onto the guided practice. Go ahead and try to estimate each of these products, and I'll get back with you shortly. So go ahead and pause the video. So number 1 is going to be similar to example 1. We're going to estimate this to my nearest whole number. So that's going to be my ones section. And my ones is my 4, and next to my 4 is a 1. 1 is below 4, so my 4 is going to remain the same. So this is going to be 2 times $4, because I'm estimating to my nearest whole number. So my answer should be $8. Number 2, I have 18 and 4/10. Since that's already a 10, to me, anything's compatible. So 18 and 4/10. If I look at my one spot is my 8, next to it's a 4. That's 4 and below, so my 8's going to stay the same. So my nearest whole number is 18 times 10. And that's going to give me 180. Example 3, we have 19 and 8/10 times 3. 19 and 8/10. I look at my 9, and then next to my 9 is my 8, because 9 is in my ones column. 8 is 5 and above, so my 19 is going to raise up 1 to 20. So it's going to be 20 times 3, and that's going to equal 60. For example 4, we have $2.14. I'm going to look at my 1 spot, and next to my 1, so my 1 spot's my 2, next to it's a 1. 1 is 4 and below, so my 2 is going to remain the same. So my whole number is going to change to 5 times $2. So after 5 times $2 is going to be $10. But that's the end of the video, so thank you for watching.